night is the Rangers Journal night.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. You are listening to the Rangers Journal. My name is Doug, and this is the lowdown on our upcoming opponents, Celtic, in the League Cup final tomorrow morning, or tomorrow afternoon, I should say. A big game, obviously, for both teams. Rangers are looking to defend their title, Celtic looking to regain. Both teams are currently in form going into the match with confidence. But for Rangers in particular, this is a huge match as we need to start the tables turning against Celtic if we want to take continual steps forward. Clermont has started to build after a stop-start season thus far. We've regained ground in Aberdeen and we've been performing well in Europe. We've just come off a really good result against Tottenham that we could even have won. But the remaining hurdle is still to overcome Celtic, and in particular in these Old Firm matches. Clermont's yet to really lay a significant dent on Celtic in these games, and so this is going to have to be the one where that changes. Looking at the current form, as I say, both teams have been on form going into this match, both drawing in their respective European games prior. All three wins in their Premier League games prior to that. Celtic obviously currently top the table with 43 points, while Rangers sit in third with 32. So still a big gap there, but we are, as I say, closing on Aberdeen, and with a game in hand, we'll hopefully be able to overtake them shortly. Unfortunately, when it comes to the head-to-head, however, it is not good reading. As you can see there, we've got one draw in the past 6, 5 defeats. We really need to, as I say, start picking up results against Celtic if we want the tide to turn in the league battle, as well as given the overall sort of feelings at the clubs. And until that happens, I think we will continue to struggle in general, and we need to get that mental hurdle out of the way and push forward. So, what can we expect to see from Celtic in the game? Celtic set up in a 4-3-3 high-pressing formation that does sometimes change to more of a 4-4-2 when they are off the ball. They press high, they harry, they bustle teams, and look to try and collect the ball quickly to break on the counter. The 4-4-2 when pressing allows them to maintain control of the middle of the pitch, and they often have a very dominant midfield, which allows their attackers to be more free-flowing. In particular, their wingers are very potent, fast, tricky, and they get a lot of joy coming from those positions. They do have a high defensive line. You can catch that out if you're a team that looks to do that. And when it comes to things like substitutions, often their substitutions are quite like for like. They don't really do any major changes of tactic. You'll see players come on in the wing positions and attack, and the wider midfield positions that are often like for like, just different personnel, maybe slightly different skill sets, but overall doing similar roles. So you probably won't see any radical changes in terms of tactic, but you might see changes to the actual individuals involved. So when it comes to those individuals, who are the danger men to look out for? Well, Celtic have a few players that we need to look out for. And the main particular man I want to highlight today, though, who's been, I think, the form player for their season thus far, is Nicholas Kuhn. New signing last season. He's got 11 goals and 11 assists in all major competitions this season, creating 11 big chances, and with over, let's say, 15 dribbles and 7 big chances missed. So as you can see, he's been very active in front of goal as well as supporting, very efficient down that right side, and it's something that we'll need to keep a close eye on and ideally keep off the ball. There are other players that could mention, obviously Dyson Maida, who we'll talk about again in a moment. But the other player I've highlighted is Callum McGregor, who is the fulcrum of the midfield, central player. He often sets the tone and has done in a lot of the Old Firm matches as well. He's got 6 goals himself and 1 assist, created 4 big chances. His passing accuracy is incredibly high from midfield, which allows them to break and create chances. Again, this is someone that we want to keep quiet and want to harry and make sure that we keep him out of the game. If we keep him quiet, then we'll keep the Celtic team as a whole much quieter also. So when it comes to ourselves, We've got one enforced change. Obviously, Suter got injured against Tottenham. I'm probably just going to keep the centre back pairing that finished that game, Balogun and Proper. You could potentially look at bringing someone in for Proper, but I think Proper had a very good game against Tottenham, and this will be a more European style match. So hopefully he can continue that form into this. And with Balogun alongside him, I believe he will be an effective player to help keep Proper going in the match. Balogun is definitely the number one choice to come in and play the game, and I'm sure he will do. He said in the press conference he expects to start. We've got plenty of industry with terms of Raskin and Ballon in front of them that I think will help to protect that back four. And that becomes a key position when we talk about the choice of right back. The most controversial probably decision in my 11 here is to keep James Tavernier in position. He's in form, therefore I think offers a lot in attack, and will mean that he'll also perform better defensively. I think with Balogun and Barron there to help cover, we can be more efficient in keeping Maida out of the game on that side. But in a risky tactic, I also want to play Tavernier with the thought of those players covering, because I want to kind of encourage Celtic to attack that side and give Maida the ball more than perhaps Kuhn, purely because Maida's output in terms of his goals and assists isn't as good. He can be a little bit ponderous on the ball. His passing's not always the best. So while he's a very quick and very effective player, he's not as effective as Kuhn when it comes to the decisive balls, and therefore I would actually rather encourage Celtic to go down that side with giving it a player who's more wasteful of the ball than perhaps Kuhn going down the other. When it comes to attack, I think it was a really difficult choice for the 10. Brami's been playing well. Diomande, I think, would provide industry in the midfield. But I'm going to take the risk and go with Hadji, who has that extra guile. I think he will get a foot in and help with the things like tackling and the getting about the game. And I think he's just got that little extra that could help in a decisive moment. Cherney's been one of our top players, so keeps his place. And I think, given his form, Eagleman deserves to stay on the field as well. So I'm going to play him on the left-hand side and then bring Danilo in. Eagleman's been on form and is playing really well, so I think he deserves to keep his place, but I'm going to move him out onto the left so that I can bring Danilo in fresh, as I think the ability for them to potentially go two up top at times when pushing an attack could cause more problem than perhaps Brami. Brami could come on during the game if we do need a bit more. In terms of who our game changer could be for this match, I'm going with Leon Balogun. I had originally been thinking of picking John Suter for this. He's been playing excellently well, and I thought he was going to be a key player for this match in terms of keeping our defence intact. Obviously, unfortunately, he is out, and so I'm going to pick his replacement, Leon Balogun. Balogun knows what Old Firms are all about. He's got that fire. He's got a little bit of quickness to him. I think he will be important to keep that midfield together. In terms of my choice of having Tab, I think he'll be important to help cover that along with Barron. So for me, he'll play a big part in keeping Celtic out and making sure the defence stays strong. I'd really love to see as well in a more attacking output, or to get our first header in this game, perhaps, and Balogun would be my choice for doing that as well. His numbers are solid. Obviously, he's not played as much, so they're a little bit lower than perhaps you might expect, but a big game player and a big player for Rangers, who I think will need to be on top form to make sure that we have a positive result. So going into the game, this is obviously, as I say, a big one. We really need to, at the very, very minimal level, put in a good performance. The team went into that Tottenham game with energy, with verve, with confidence, playing the ball, wanting to be the team on top, and they need to bring that kind of energy into this game. I think Clement, as I say, for many fans, if he can't win this game, they will still be on the potential Clement out train. At the very minimum, he has to have a good performance, I think. If we put in a really good performance and just unfortunately lose, I think fans will be able to deal with that if they can see progress being made against Celtic in these games. It looked like at one point he was making some progress, but then at the start of this season went into the game making all the same failings. Some of you, of course, will accuse me of doing the same by sticking with Tavernier. However, I do think there's a difference between the Tavernier that played in that early game in the Tavernier that we've got right now. But I'm willing to admit that could well be, a blind mistake as well. Potentially one of the things that does need to change. So we'll see what he goes with. I'm hoping that we will take the same spirit from the week into this game. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to us. Hopefully, Eagleman to score the winner to continue his rise into the hearts of Rangers fans. He's looking like he's becoming a really good player and scoring loads of goals. So I hope that continues. And I'll give the other goal to Danilo as well. Let's get both of our strikers off the mark against Celtic for what will hopefully be a good performance, a good win, and the first piece of silverware for this year. Enjoy the game. Good luck to Rangers, and we'll speak to you soon on the next Lowdown.